So, your malpractice agent has brought you quotes for both occurrence and claims-made coverage options. How do you know which one is right for you? Well, this is going to be the first of a two-part series on how to choose the right type of malpractice insurance. And today, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why occurrence coverage might be right for you. Next week, we'll flip the script and talk about why claims-made might be right for you. So let's unpack this first episode together. Stay tuned. Welcome to Malpractice Insights, the show dedicated to helping healthcare professionals understand medical malpractice insurance and providing you with the solutions you need so that you can get back to the work of practicing good medicine. My name is Jennifer Wiggins, CEO of Aegis Malpractice Solutions, and I'm so glad you've joined us today. All right, let's jump in. In the world of medical malpractice insurance, there are 2 types of policies that you can buy: claims-made and occurrence. In order to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success down the road, it's important to understand what makes these policies different. The easiest way to remember the difference is this: the name of the policy describes how the coverage is triggered. If you have an occurrence policy, your malpractice coverage is triggered based on when the incident actually occurred. If you have a claims-made policy, your malpractice coverage is triggered based on when the claim is made against you. Occurrence coverage is the most flexible policy type available. With this type of insurance, you only need to carry the policy while you're actively practicing. When you're done, you simply cancel the policy and walk away. There is no need for tail insurance with an occurrence policy. If a claim is filed later on for a patient that you treated during the years when you were covered under the occurrence policy, that insurance will respond to cover you for the event. Occurrence coverage tends to be a little more expensive on an annual basis as compared to a fully mature claims-made policy. But because you don't have to buy tail insurance at the end, the long-term cost differential is nearly identical. Occurrence premiums, although higher, are more stable, and you can expect to pay roughly the same price for your policy year over year. Now let's look at claims-made coverage. A provider who has claims-made coverage must carry the insurance while they are actively practicing, but once they cancel the policy, they must secure tail insurance. Tail covers a healthcare provider from their cancellation date into the future for any filed claims that may still be made against them for patients that they treated during the years when they were covered under the claims-made policy. Claims-made premiums start out at a low price in year 1, and then the rate goes up every single year for approximately 5 years until it reaches the mature rate. After this time, the price remains stable. Tail insurance will typically cost 1.5 to 2 times the mature premium. So when a provider is looking at the total cost for a claims-made policy, it's important to look at the premiums that you'll be paying each year, as well as the tail cost that you'll be responsible for at the end. We have a whole episode dedicated to unpacking the differences between occurrence and claims-made coverage, and I'd highly recommend that you check that episode out if you haven't already. We'll drop a link for you here and also in the show notes, so you can check that out after you've finished today's episode. Okay, so now let's talk about why a healthcare provider might pick an occurrence policy over a claims-made policy. Reason number 1 why you might choose an occurrence policy is its flexibility. Since there's no need for tail coverage, it's easier to start and stop these policies at any time. They're great for independent contractors, locum tenens providers, or doctors who are doing short-term assignments. They're also good for doctors who just want to set it and forget it, and they don't want to have to worry about that tail down the road. Occurrence is also a good choice for telemedicine providers because it's easier to add or remove states to your coverage without the fear of having to buy tail if you make a significant change to the scope of your practice. All right, reason number 2 why you might choose an occurrence policy is that it's more coverage for your premium dollar. With an occurrence policy, each year that you renew your coverage, you retain the previous year's limits. We often use an analogy of like books on a bookshelf to demonstrate how occurrence limits stack up and how they're accessible as needed going forward. So, if you have a claim for a procedure that you rendered in the year 2023, you simply access your 2023 occurrence policy and you use that coverage to pay the claim. All of your other policy years remain fully intact. So there's no doubt that the occurrence policy gives you more coverage in the long run and more value for your premium dollar. Reason number 3 why occurrence might be better for you is that it's easier to budget for your future premium costs. Occurrence premiums are relatively stable. It's essentially the same price year over year. They don't have the step increase that you see with the claims-made premium, where the rate starts low and then increases year over year. Occurrence premiums, while a little more expensive, tend to be flat, so it's easier to budget for the future and know what your out-of-pocket costs will be for your practice in the long run. Okay, moving on to reason number 4 why you might choose occurrence coverage is it's what you've always had. For providers who have been insured on an occurrence policy for many years, they are comfortable with the coverage structure and they appreciate the benefits of the limits and the freedom from tail insurance. Since they're used to an occurrence policy, it's their preferred policy type, and these providers usually don't want to switch to claims-made down the road. And finally, reason number 5 why you might pick an occurrence policy is someone else is paying for it. Yes, this is a pretty practical reason, but I mention it because if you are getting reimbursed for your malpractice costs, or if you're receiving a stipend or money towards your premium, I'd highly recommend that you go with occurrence because you're going to get more bang for your buck. If you had a claims-made policy and an employer or a contractor was paying for your premium, then you'd have to negotiate the terms of your tail at the end, essentially deciding who's going to be buying it. So it's cleaner and simpler if you just go with an occurrence policy in instances when someone else is paying for your coverage. There is no right or wrong type of malpractice insurance to buy. It just depends on your unique practice situation. If you're not sure which policy type is right for you, contact a knowledgeable malpractice insurance agent for help and guidance. All right, this is a lot of information, but don't worry, we've got you covered. We've put together an overview of the differences between claims-made and occurrence coverage in a free download that you can access in the show notes for this episode. Or if you're watching on YouTube, just click the description box below. If you have any questions on this topic, or you want to make sure that you're covered appropriately, click the link in the description box below where you can connect with us via phone, email, or chat today. And if you're listening, please visit us online at aegismalpractice.com. That's AEGIS malpractice.com. And of course, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to give us a like and a follow. And I'd really love your feedback if you could please leave me a review. Your support really does help us to reach more people. And we're so grateful for your clicks and your kind words. This is Jennifer Wiggins. Thanks for joining us.